G.I. Joe Junkie here, back with another video. I actually had planned on doing this video first thing this morning. I set out at about 6:30. I grabbed Zartan, and I was going to display him on the stand just because it makes my life easier. He can stand up just fine. His joints are really tight. But as I was putting him on said stand, which is made by Hasbro for G.I. Joes, I cracked his foot, so I had to grab some epoxy and do some surgery. It was not fun. It took about 4 hours for this to dry. I just got it dry now, so I'm able to do the video. And this figure has been nothing but a horror show since I bought him. He's in excellent condition. His paint is a little worn. I had actually planned on buying some paint and touching him up. That was the original plan when I bought him. His O-ring was completely loose. So I knew I was going to have to change it. And I knew what that entailed with these because him and the brother and sister, Zartan, and I can't think of the other guy's name offhand right now. I don't know why. Dang it. But they were all glued together because they were color changing. And I kind of knew this going in that it wasn't going to be the easiest thing to fix, but I did not know it was going to be the horror show that it turned into. I opened him up, or attempted to open up Zartan about 3 weeks ago. This figure had more glue on it than anything I've ever seen with Joe's. Now, I fixed like a Zartan before, and it was a modest amount of glue on her. This guy, I had to take a razor blade and cut through the plastic completely through, all the way through here. I had to finagle his hood around so that I could cut all the way up to the neck and then do the same on the other side because they put so much glue in this thing, it would not come apart. Like, I've seen videos of people how they did it, and they had modest amounts of glue. Mine was dripping with glue. And I can't believe that adhesive held for that many years that good. Now, if you are going to be doing surgery on one of these characters, I advise to cover your fingers because you can't see it now because it's healed, but I had about 27 cuts on these two fingers from an X-Acto knife trying to get this thing open. I was bleeding everywhere. I was starting to get blood on the figure, which isn't good, so I had to completely wrap my hands and basically duct tape to get the blood to stop pumping out so that I could finish fixing him. Now, when I picked him up, I was really excited to get him because I love Zartan. When I was a kid, I loved the Cobra enemies, basically. They were just such a much better design. I like Joe's here and there, like your Snake Eyes or your Dusty version 2, Flint version 1 and 2. I discard it. I do like certain Joes, but the designs of the Cobra people, officers, enemy was just so much better. The officers look like ninjas to me. The just bad guys look so cool. And you have your Storm Shadow, you had Firefly. I mean, it just, list goes on and on. They just seem to do a better design. Now, since I was so excited when I picked him up and his joints were so tight, I did not notice his crotch was broken. This is a costly mistake for me because from searching, I can get this crotch for about $15 to $20, but I have been looking for messed up Zartans, like loose joints, and I've been finding some really cheap with the crotches intact, and I've been finding for $15, $20. I may pick one up just to replace that crotch because this is actually a really nice character. He's besides the paint loss, he has some on his back, of course. He has this weird, I don't know what that is. It's like a black spot. It's not from paint rub. It's almost like a factory default. I did have to change his back screw out. It was completely rusted, and what was weird is it was stripped before I ever took it out, but it didn't look like this Joe had ever been repaired. He had the same O-ring on. His legs were barely hanging on. The only problem is when I tore the glue off and I nipped him back down, he didn't close quite all the way because of the glue. So now where his arms were never loose, they're just a little bit loose now. They still hold, like, they won't fall down or anything, but they're not like they were before I did surgery on him. Kind of ick about that. Because, like, you can tell his knee joints are brand new. Like, you have to really move them just to move them around. And he's in great condition, but now the arm's just slightly loose. But what can you do? I was thinking I could open them up again, do some surgery. I know how to make arm joints tighter. You take clear liquid nail polish and you put a slight coat around where the joints fit in. You have to let it dry and make sure that it's all the way dry, because if you don't, you latch these guys back down. I did it with a Cobra Commander. I had fixed his legs before, and because he was actually sitting out in heat, the adhesive that I had used, because at that time I wasn't using clear nail polish, I was using just like a super glue adhesive. It makes like a layer of new plastic, except I put the dang leg back on before it was done drying. And when I went to go back and open them, because it was just a little too tight, I broke the leg off. So now the leg is permanently kind of glued in there. He did come with all his armor, which is awesome. It's all in great condition. Other than the horror show that I had opening him, it's all good. He is an excellent character. I did get all his accessories. His face does have this weird pink mark on it. There's not much I could do about that. I paid $90 for him. Now, this was too dang much for a character with a broken crotch and needed surgery for an O-ring, basically. But I like Zartan so much, and I didn't notice the crotch broken at the time, I picked him up. I wouldn't normally pay more than $60 for something that's in this condition with the crotch like that if I had known. But that was my own fault for not paying attention. Always pay attention when you're buying stuff. He also does come with his gun. It does fit in both his hands. I'm not going to do that right now just because the thumbs are so what's the word, finicky. They can break off very, very, very easily depending. Like I have my Dusty version 2. He can hold his gun, but he can't hold his submachine gun. He never will be able to. His thumbs are just too tight. Kind of a design flaw that I do not like. But what I could do, I guess, is shave down the handle on his gun. I don't really want to do that because his gun is in perfect condition like Zartan's is. There is no wear from the hands. It looks like they really didn't play with it. And he does come with the backpack. His mask fits in there. It does open and close. It's not broken, thankfully. And yeah, other than that, and the monster story of fixing him in this morning, you can't tell at least. I did a good job. A nice sliver of his foot came off from here to here. I'm trying to see. Yeah, you can see the crack right there. Right where but the adhesive is holding it on. It did a good job. It's just a normal adhesive that I got from Home Depot. It works better than super glue because the super glue leaves like a white residue on it, or this leaves like a clear film that you can't see. You can just see the crack, but you can't even see the adhesive really, which is awesome. So you can't tell that I'm an idiot and broke Zartan this morning. $90 character. Irks me. But, so that is Zartan, guys. I am your G.I. Joe Junkie. Oh, one more thing. I forgot. I do have the file card. And if you look, I do have the Extreme Paranoid Schizophrenic file card, which I am actually happy to get because they discontinued those very quickly when schizophrenic groups got together and got very, very angry about that. I'm not so sure why. I have grown up with a schizophrenic person in my life. There's nothing bad about what it says here, other than he's a bad guy. He's on Cobra, but it is what it is. I at least have it. I think it's awesome. And there you go. That is Zartan from 1984. He did not come on a box. He came only boxed in the Takara version, for Japan. And I believe he has a Fun School box from India where he's actually bald. He looks really weird. He doesn't have the chest plate. All the rest of the colors are similar, except he doesn't have the black face paint around his eyes either. It's a very strange looking character. Only way to get him carded, though. All right, then. I am your G.I. Joe junkie. I thank you guys for watching. I'll come back at you with another G.I. Joe video soon. I'm going to keep rolling on the Marvel and other videos because I'm having a lot of fun making them. And I thank you guys for watching. See you soon.